Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Before we dive in more together, I will be chirobatic to introduce myself first. Hi, my name is Muhammad Danish bin AZNAN. I'm 16 years old and I'm an agriculture student in Technical Institution of Johor. A little bit more things that you should know about myself is that, Alhamdulillah, I was selected as the president of English Language Society Club and also an active traditional dancer in my school. To be honest, I've read many books out there, but this book right here catches my eye and attention immediately. To be more precise, and if you be wondering right here, this book that I'm holding is titled Talk to Allah, and the author of this book is Aisha Shahira. This book was published on March 27, 2020. To be honest, for the past few months, I've read this book, and there's few main things that I would really like to highlight about this book. First is actually the way that this author written this book beautifully. The way she writes this book is so fantastic. When you're reading it, it's like you're listening to her talking. And fun, and much more fun about this book is that this book only costs 30 ringgit, where you can actually go and buy a Shopee online or any physical store such as Popular. In this video, I will actually emphasizing on 3 main points. The first point is what are the best way to actually make your dua based on this book. Secondly is why is it so hard for us to make dua to Allah, and thirdly, why is it so important for us to make dua. The first point is how is the best way to actually make dua, since Aisha Shahira, is that the best way is to make it simple and understandable. We don't really need those high and vocabulary words, and you to the point that you don't really understand on what your dua is saying. So the best way is to make it simple and say it in any language that you're comfortable with. If you're a Japanese and you want to say your dua in Japanese, go ahead. If you're fluent in any language, just go ahead. Make sure that you're conscious and you're focusing on your dua and your communication with Allah. Secondly is why is it so hard for us to actually talk to Allah? The reason why it's actually so hard to talk to Allah is actually we don't really see it as a benefit and anything that actually is going to help us in our life. And it's very important to actually acknowledge that talking to Allah is very important. By that, to reduce our hardness and to actually take more time to talk to Allah. So it's very important to know the importance before striving for the best quality when you're talking to Allah. So thirdly, why is it so important when you're talking to Allah? There's at least so many benefits and importance when you're talking to Allah, but especially for this author right here, she stated that it really helps her mental health. Same goes to me, it really helps my ups and downs, especially for me who's actually struggling with my mental health and also going through the best spiritual journey at this moment. One thing I liked about this book, that there's actually this one page, if I'm not mistaken, it stated that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will actually answer your dua in 3 ways. For example, I wanted a new iPhone. So basically Allah says in 3 ways, Allah will answer my dua in 3 ways. The first way, Allah will say, yes, I will get an iPhone. That's the first way. The second way, the second situation will be, yes, Allah will grant my wishes, Allah will grant my du'as, is that I want an iPhone, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will actually grant it maybe 2 months later or 2 years later. Allah will give it a little more time to me to actually grant that wish. Third situation is that Allah will grant my dua by replacing the better version of what I actually wanted. So maybe I want an iPhone, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me a Samsung phone. So can you see how beautiful that Allah actually answers your dua in 3 beautiful ways? And to know the fact that this book really highlighted that to be really putting your whole hopes on your dua and putting your best quality time to make your dua, because it really going to help your dunya and also in akhirah. Personally, in conclusion, this book really helps in strengthening my faith with Allah, and it really helps by maintaining my good intention while making dua, because this book not only highlighted on making dua for yourself but also highlighting to actually make dua for others. It's very important to actually make dua for others as well. And this book right here also has like very like examples of like duas that you can actually do it. You actually can actually indulge in your lifetime, because there's also like amazing way of tips that she actually written in this book, where I recommend in to all different kind of ages, because this book had changed my life, and this book right here will change yours. So remember that every single dua that you're making, do not lose hope, because every single dua that you're doing right now could change your destiny. Thank you.